Hello guys. Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the tangled web of secrets, betrayal, and heartbreak surrounding Nina Reeves, Willow Corinthos, and Drew Cain. This dramatic storyline has kept fans on the edge of their seats as hidden truths threaten to unravel relationships and destroy lives. With emotions running high and family ties at stake, let's explore the complexities of Nina's choices, the devastating fallout for Willow, and the moral dilemmas at the heart of this soap opera saga. Buckle up, because this is going to be an intense ride through the underbelly of Port Charles' most turbulent drama. Nina's dangerous deception. At the core of this stormy narrative is Nina Reeves, a woman who claims she'd move mountains for her daughter, Willow Corinthos. Yet, her actions paint a far murkier picture. Nina's fierce maternal love seems to come with caveats, as she has chosen to harbor a scandalous secret that could have saved Willow from a world of pain. Months ago, Nina could have shattered the illusion of Drew Cain's charm by confessing to her own illicit affair with him. Imagine the shockwaves that revelation would have sent through Willow's world, potentially sparing her from the emotional wreckage she now faces. Instead, Nina opted for silence, perhaps out of self-preservation or a misguided hope that the storm would pass without her intervention. This decision raises the question, is Nina truly protecting her daughter, or is she safeguarding her own heart, still bruised from her unexpected attachment to Drew? The lines of loyalty blur as we consider whether Nina's inaction is rooted in fear of losing Willow's trust or shame over her own indiscretions in the shadowy corners of Port Charles. Willow's shattering breakdown. Meanwhile, Willow Corinthos finds herself in a nightmarish spiral, her life crumbling under the weight of loss and betrayal. The heartbreaking moment she realized her children were no longer in her custody under Michael Corinthos' care seemed to fracture her very soul. Desperate to maintain some semblance of control, Willow spun a web of lies, claiming Michael had been completely absent during his rehabilitation stint in Germany. But the truth, as always, has a way of clawing to the surface. Michael, unbeknownst to Willow, had been nurturing his bond with their children through tender video calls facilitated by Christina Corinthos, who acted as a secret conduit during his absence. This revelation only deepens Willow's despair, as her deception is laid bare. Her mental state, already fragile, has devolved into chaos, leaving her a shadow of the strong, compassionate woman fans once knew. One can't help but wonder if Willow's unraveling is a direct result of the toxic influence Drew has wielded over her life. Could a single, honest conversation from Nina have steered Willow away from this devastating path? Drew's destructive influence. Enter Drew Cain, the enigmatic yet destructive force at the center of this familial implosion. Nina holds the key to exposing Drew's manipulative nature. She knows he is the true catalyst behind Willow losing her children. From the moment Drew set his sights on Willow, Nina saw the warning signs. His charm was a veneer, masking a man willing to tear apart a family for his own desires. Yet, Nina stood by as Drew wove himself into Willow's life, driving a wedge between her and Michael that now seems irreparable. If Nina were to unveil the truth about her steamy past with Drew, it might jolt Willow into seeing the man for who he truly is, a predator in a tailored suit. Picture the scene: Willow, reeling from the news that her mother shared intimate moments with the man she trusted, might finally muster the strength to sever ties with Drew. This could be her chance to reclaim her children and rebuild the life she once had. But Nina's hesitation, perhaps fueled by lingering feelings for Drew, has allowed this destructive affair to fester. The question looms large: did Nina's silence embolden Drew to wreak havoc without consequence? A mother's conflicted heart. Delving deeper into Nina's psyche, we uncover a woman torn between love and regret. What began as a casual fling with Drew morphed into something more profound, catching Nina off guard. She hadn't anticipated the rush of emotions that accompanied their late-night rendezvous at the Metro Court or the whispered conversations in dimly lit corners of Crimson's office. Despite their agreement to keep things light, Nina's heart betrayed her, weaving threads of attachment she couldn't easily cut. When Drew shifted his focus to Willow, Nina was left with little choice but to step aside, though every fiber of her being rebelled against it. This internal conflict adds layers to her reluctance to confess. Will revealing the affair destroy her bond with Willow, or does she fear losing the last fragments of connection to Drew? It's a Shakespearean dilemma, set against the backdrop of Port Charles elite, where personal desires clash with familial duty. Nina's pain is palpable, but it pales in comparison to the agony her silence has inflicted on her daughter. Willow's courtroom catastrophe. The fallout from this mess reached a fever pitch in the courtroom, where Willow's desperate bid to retain custody backfired spectacularly. Her outburst, raw with emotion, painted her as instably a frenzied mother willing to vilify Michael to keep her children. Spectators in the gallery whispered as Willow's words grew erratic, her accusations against Michael sounding more like the ravings of a woman unhinged than a reasoned argument. This public unraveling only cemented the court's decision to restrict her access to her son and daughter, leaving her with nothing but regret. Currently, Willow isn't even permitted supervised visits, a harsh reality that cuts deep into her maternal instincts. Under Drew's influence, she has made choices that defy logic, like attempting to erase Michael's role in their children's lives, a misstep that could haunt her forever. Michael, after all, has every right to be a father, having fought his own battles to return stronger from Germany. Could a dose of truth from Nina be the lifeline Willow needs to salvage her relationship with her kids, or is the damage already too profound? The path to redemption. As we peer into the future of this gripping storyline, the possibility of redemption hovers on the horizon, fragile yet tantalizing. If Nina were to muster the courage to lay bare her affair with Drew, the shock might be the catalyst Willow needs to break free from his toxic grip. Imagine Willow, tears streaming down her face, confronting Drew in the bustling Quartermain mansion, her voice trembling with rage and betrayal. Such a moment could pave the way for her to petition the court for visitation rights, demonstrating a newfound clarity and determination to prioritize her children over a misguided romance. Michael, ever the steadfast father, might even soften, recognizing Willow's efforts to right her wrongs. But this hinges on Nina's willingness to sacrifice her own comfort for the greater good. Should she step into the light and confess, risking her daughter's wrath and her own heartache? Or will she remain in the shadows, watching as Drew's manipulations continue to erode the family she claims to cherish? A moral crossroads for Nina. Ultimately, Nina stands at a moral crossroads, her next move poised to reshape the lives of everyone involved. Could a single, raw conversation undo months of devastation? Picture Nina sitting Willow down at Kelly's diner, the familiar hum of Port Charles life buzzing around them, as she spills the sordid details of her past with Drew. The air would thicken with tension, Willow's eyes widening in disbelief, but perhaps, just perhaps, this honesty could be the first step toward healing. Nina has the power to alter the trajectory of this tragedy, to give Willow the clarity she needs to fight for her children and reclaim her life from Drew's destructive orbit. Yet, the fear of losing Willow's love forever might keep Nina's lips sealed, a gamble that could cost them both everything. As fans, we're left chewing our nails, wondering if Nina will rise as the mother Willow desperately needs or remain ensnared by her own tangled emotions. Next, we will explore a heartwarming moment from the life of Maurice Benard, the beloved actor who brings sunny Corinthos to life on our screens. Away from the dramatic twists of Port Charles, Maurice recently shared a joyous family celebration that tugged at the heartstrings of fans everywhere. We're diving into the details of a beautiful vow renewal ceremony hosted at his home, complete with personal touches, family love, and the kind of warmth that reminds us why we adore this talented star both on and off the screen. So, grab a cozy seat as we unpack this special day, filled with laughter, love, and memorable moments that showcase the softer side of the man behind the mob boss. A celebration of love at home. Maurice Benard opened the doors of his personal life to fans this past weekend with a delightful social media update that captured a cherished family event. Through a captivating Instagram reel, the General Hospital icon revealed that his home had transformed into the perfect backdrop for a deeply sentimental occasion of vow renewal ceremony for his daughter Kaylee Avila and her husband, Carlos Avila. Unlike a traditional wedding, this outdoor celebration was an intimate reaffirmation of their commitment, bathed in the golden glow of a sunny afternoon. The setting was nothing short of idyllic, with lush greenery surrounding the couple as they stood hand in hand, surrounded by their nearest and dearest. Maurice's caption radiated pride and joy as he described the day as very beautiful and a lot of fun, even playfully suggesting they do it all over again. This glimpse into his world reminded fans that behind sunny Corinthos' tough exterior lies a real-life family man who treasures every moment with his loved ones, making his home a haven of happiness for such a milestone. Little stars steal the show, adding an extra layer of sweetness to the day where Maurice's adored grandchildren, who brought boundless energy and smiles to the vow renewal. Among them was little Tiana, affectionately known as TT, who holds a special place in her grandfather's heart. The Instagram reel featured heartwarming clips of TT toddling around the garden, her tiny dress fluttering as she giggled with other family members. Maurice's love for his grandkids is no secret to fans, as he often shares tender anecdotes about their antics on social media. During the ceremony, TT and her cousins were seen tossing flower petals with clumsy delight, turning a poignant moment into a scene of pure and scripted joy. It's clear that for Maurice, having the younger generation present made the event even more meaningful, weaving a thread of generational love through the celebration. One can almost imagine him scooping up TT for a big hug, his signature grin lighting up as he soaks in the magic of family togetherness on such a memorable day. A father's pride in Kaylee and Carlos. In his heartfelt Instagram post, Maurice poured out his emotions about Kaylee and Carlos, the couple at the center of this touching renewal. He described hosting the event at his home as the best place ever, a testament to the warmth and sanctuary his family finds within those walls. Kaylee, radiant in a flowing white gown with delicate lace details, and Carlos, dapper in a tailored suit, exchanged vows under a beautifully decorated arch adorned with fresh roses and ivy. Maurice's words hinted at the deep bond he shares with his daughter, a relationship built on years of shared laughter, support, and unwavering trust. He couldn't resist marveling at the fun that permeated the day, from heartfelt toasts to impromptu dances on the lawn as the sun dipped below the horizon. The event seemed to reflect not just a celebration of marriage, but a reaffirmation of the family's unity, with Maurice standing as the proud patriarch watching over it all. His light-hearted suggestion to repeat the celebration hints at a man who relishes every opportunity to gather his loved ones close. Colleagues and fans shower love. The outpouring of affection from Maurice's circle was immediate and overwhelming, with both colleagues and fans flooding the comments section of his post with warm wishes. Finola Hughes, a General Hospital stalwart, expressed her admiration for the Benard family, noting how their priorities are rooted in love and togetherness. Her comment, "I love your family, Mo. They are full of love," captured the essence of what fans see in Maurice, a man whose real-life persona mirrors the fierce loyalty Sonny often shows, albeit with far more tenderness. Fans, too, chimed in with their own messages of congratulations, one declaring, "Congratulations. And no place like home," a nod to the unique magic of having such a personal event at Maurice and Paula's residence. Another follower gushed, "Just beautiful and many blessings," while a third added, "How sweet. Blessings for them today and always." The sentiment that stood out most was a poetic reflection. Nothing more beautiful than seeing the endless celebrations of love again and again. These responses paint a picture of a community both on screen and off that holds Maurice and his family in high regard, celebrating their milestones as if they were their own. A family full of milestones. Kaylee's journey to this vow renewal is just one of many chapters in the Benard family's story of love and growth. Rewind to October 2018, when Kaylee first announced her engagement to Carlos, a memory she fondly reshared on social media a year later with snapshots of their dreamy proposal. Fast forward to early May of this year, and Maurice had more joyous news to share. His other daughter, Cassidy, became engaged to her boyfriend, Anthony Camarada, during a magical moment at Tokyo Disneyland. Maurice's description of them as soulmates revealed his deep faith in their bond, and he eagerly anticipates planning yet another family wedding, perhaps with an international flair inspired by the enchanting proposal setting. Each of these milestones underscores the Benard family's knack for turning life's big moments into cherished memories. Whether it's an engagement beneath fireworks in Japan or a quiet vow renewal in a backyard blooming with love. For Maurice, every celebration seems to deepen his appreciation for the life he's built with his wife, Paula Smith, by his side. Maurice and Paula's enduring bond. Speaking of Paula, Maurice's own love story with his wife of over 3 decades offers a backdrop of inspiration for his daughter's romantic journeys. The couple tied the knot in 1990, and a decade later, they marked their 10th anniversary with a grand second wedding, a sort of vow renewal of their own. That lavish dash, filled with elegant decor and emotional speeches, reflected their commitment to keeping the spark alive through the years. Maurice's playful remark about doing it again in his recent post might hint at a desire to revisit such a celebration with Paula, perhaps planning an intimate event surrounded by their growing family. Their home, already a sacred space for Kaylee's renewal, could once again host a gathering where Maurice and Paula reaffirm their promises under the same trees that witnessed their daughter's special day. Together, they've raised a beautiful brood, including their adopted daughter, Heather, who is married to Phil Andreessen and parents a little girl named Eloise Rose. Another grandchild, Milo, adds to the joyous chaos of family life, ensuring Maurice and Paula's legacy of love continues to flourish. Reflections on a Blessed Life. As we reflect on Kaylee and Carlos choosing Maurice as home for their vow renewal, it's hard not to see the profound significance of the location. A home isn't just brick and mortar, it's a repository of memories, laughter, and the quiet strength of family bonds. For Maurice, opening his doors to host such an event likely felt like the most natural decision, a way to wrap his daughter and son-in-law in the warmth of where it all began for them as a family. The rolling hills or cozy patio, however the ceremony unfolded, became more than a backdrop. It became a symbol of continuity, a place where love is nurtured and celebrated across generations. Fans can't help but feel that Maurice is indeed blessed, surrounded by a family that mirrors the fierce devotion he portrays as sunny, yet with a softness and authenticity that's uniquely his own. From TT's tiny footsteps to the heartfelt vows of Kaylee and Carlos, every element of this day spoke to a life rich with connection and joy. In wrapping up this heartwarming story, we're left marveling at the beautiful tapestry of Maurice Benard's family life, a stark contrast to the turbulent world of Port Charles. What do you think of Kaylee and Carlos renewing their vows in such a personal, meaningful setting? Do you agree that Maurice seems to be surrounded by an abundance of love and blessings with his wonderful family? Next, we will delve into a gripping and dramatic turn of events unfolding in Port Charles, where PCPD partners Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase find themselves in an unexpected and confined predicament. A newly released sneak peek video has revealed that these two detectives are about to trade their badges for bars as they get locked up together in a jail cell. With tensions soaring and trust crumbling between them, let's unpack the messy circumstances leading to their incarceration, the bold intervention by Anna Devane, and what this unusual situation could mean for their fractured partnership. Get ready for a wild ride as we explore every angle of this intense storyline that promises to keep fans glued to their screens. A shocking secret shatters trust. The root of this explosive conflict lies in a long-buried secret that has recently come to light, sending shockwaves through the personal and professional lives of Dante Falconeri and Harrison Chase. For General Hospital fans, the bombshell dropped when Brooklyn Quartermain confessed a heartbreaking truth to her husband, Chase. As a teenager, she had a child with Dante, a baby she quietly placed for adoption without ever telling him. This revelation, hidden for over 20 years, was a deeply personal wound for Brooklyn, one she entrusted to Chase with the hope of safeguarding her privacy. Caught in an impossible bind, Chase chose loyalty to his wife over transparency with his partner, keeping the secret locked away even as it gnawed at his conscience. Picture the weight of that decision. Every shared coffee break at the precinct with Dante must have felt like a silent betrayal, knowing the truth could shatter their brotherhood. When the news finally surfaced, Dante's reaction was raw and visceral, a mix of hurt and anger over being kept in the dark by someone he considered family in blue. The foundation of trust that once held their partnership together crumbled, leaving behind a jagged rift that neither man seems ready to bridge. Clashing perspectives fuel the feud. The fallout between Dante and Chase has only intensified as each grapples with their own frustration and sense of betrayal. For Dante, the pain cuts deep not just because of the secret itself, but because Chase, his steadfast partner through countless high-stakes cases, didn't stand by him with the honesty their bond demanded. Imagine Dante replaying years of camaraderie in his mind, wondering how many whispered confidences were tainted by this omission, his trust in Chase now replaced by a simmering resentment. On the flip side, Chase feels equally aggrieved, unable to fathom why Dante can't empathize with the impossible position he was placed in. Torn between his sacred vows to Brooklyn and his duty to Dante, Chase believed he was protecting a fragile piece of his wife's past, a choice made out of love rather than deceit. Their clashing viewpoints have turned every interaction into a battlefield, with heated arguments echoing through the halls of the PCPD. Each man digs in his heels, convinced he's in the right, while their once inseparable teamwork deteriorates into bitter exchanges that threaten to sabotage their ability to serve and protect Port Charles. Anna Devane's drastic intervention. Fed up with the incessant bickering that has turned her precinct into a war zone, Anna Devane steps in with a strategy as bold as it is unorthodox. On Monday, June 16th, viewers will witness the formidable police commissioner take drastic measures to force Dante and Chase to confront their issues head-on. Tired of watching two of her finest detectives behave more like squabbling rivals than seasoned professionals, Anna decides to strip away the trappings of their authority and treat them as if they've crossed the line into criminal territory. In a striking scene from the sneak peek video, she demands they surrender their badges and weapons, her steely gaze leaving no room for argument. One can almost feel the weight of that momentary cold metal of their badges slipping from their hands, a symbolic loss of the honor they've fought to uphold. Anna's words cut sharp and clear. This destructive conflict must end, and they aren't leaving until they rediscover the partnership that once made them a formidable duo. Her no-nonsense approach is a desperate bid to shock them into reconciliation, but it also underscores the gravity of how far their bond has fallen. Behind bars, the forced reckoning. The sneak peek video offers a tense glimpse into the next phase of Anna's plan as she orders Dante and Chase into a jail cell at the PCPD, an ironic twist for two men accustomed to locking up others. The stark clank of the cell door slamming shut reverberates with finality as the partners, visibly displeased, step into the confined space. Picture the scene: Dante leaning against the cold bars, arms crossed, his jaw tight with frustration, while Chase paces the small area, his restless energy betraying his discomfort. Neither man looks thrilled to be stripped of their freedom, even temporarily, but they comply under Anna's unwavering command. Adding a touch of humor to the tense situation, Anna issues a playful yet pointed directive to a nearby officer tasked with keeping watch. If the detectives start fighting again, turn the hose on them. It's a light-hearted jab that masks the seriousness of her intentions, determined to see them emerge from this confinement with a renewed sense of camaraderie, even if it means babysitting them like rowdy inmates. The image of water dousing their tempers brings a fleeting smile, but the underlying question remains: will this unconventional punishment spark the dialogue they so desperately need? A test of partnership in confinement. Being locked in close quarters offers Dante and Chase an inescapable opportunity to face their grievances, but it's far from a guaranteed fix. Imagine the silence that initially fills the cell, thick with unspoken accusations, as each man wrestles with pride and pain. Perhaps Dante will break the quiet first, his voice low as he recounts the sting of learning about his child through whispers rather than from Chase's own lips, a memory that haunts quieter moments at home with Lulu. Chase might counter with his own perspective, describing sleepless nights torn between loyalty to Brooklyn and guilt over deceiving Dante, his marriage tested by the burden of that secret. The confined space could amplify every emotion, turning a small argument into a full-blown confrontation or, just maybe, a cathartic release. The sneak peek hints at their initial reluctance, but it also leaves room for hope that the sheer absurdity of their situation might crack through their defenses. Will they trade barbs or bare their souls? Fans are left to wonder if this forced proximity will be the crucible that forges a stronger bond or simply deepens the wedge between them. The road to redemption or ruin. As this storyline unfolds, General Hospital spoilers suggest that Dante and Chase will at least attempt to chart a path toward peace, though the journey promises to be anything but smooth. Picture them finally sitting side by side on the cell's narrow bench, exhaustion replacing anger as they begin to see the other's side and acknowledging the impossible choice Chase faced, and Chase admitting the pain his silence inflicted. The process of rebuilding trust won't happen overnight. It might start with small gestures, like sharing a rueful laugh over Anna's hose threat or recalling a past case where they had each other's backs without question. Their professional partnership hangs in the balance, critical not just for their careers but for the safety of Port Charles, a town always teetering on the edge of chaos. Anna's gamble is a high-stakes one. If it pays off, the precinct could regain two of its best, united once more. But if resentment lingers, this stint behind bars might only cement their divide, leaving their friendship and their ability to work together in tatters. What lies ahead for the feuding detectives? Looking forward, the big question looms: will Anna's tough love tactic be the turning point Dante and Chase need to mend their fractured relationship? Their time in lockup is more than just a plot twist. It's a pressure cooker designed to strip away pretenses and force raw honesty. Imagine the potential outcome: a heartfelt apology from Chase sparking a reluctant nod from Dante, or a shared realization that their bond is worth fighting for, even if it means swallowing pride. Spoilers hint at tentative steps toward reconciliation, suggesting that this unusual detention might plant the seeds for positive developments in their dynamic. Fans are eager to see if they emerge from the cell with a renewed commitment to each other, perhaps symbolized by a firm handshake or a quiet promise to never let secrets fester again. Whatever the result, this storyline underscores the messy, human side of law enforcement in Port Charles, where personal struggles often bleed into professional duties, creating drama that keeps us hooked. In the ever-unpredictable world of General Hospital, the saga of Dante and Chase serves as a powerful reminder of how fragile trust can be, even among the closest of allies. Will their time behind bars rebuild the partnership that once defined them, or will it mark the end of an era at the PCPD? Drop your predictions and thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Anna's strategy will work, or are these detectives too far gone to reconcile?